Hello and welcome to this week's virtual training session. Today we're going to talk about what to do in case of an OSHA visit. One thing to understand is that there's a limited number of OSHA inspectors, maybe about 2,200. There's probably around 8 million work sites around the country and about 130 million workers. So your chances are pretty low of being inspected by OSHA. Now, OSHA was formed to protect workers. A lot of times we work on small sites. We're pretty mobile. Don't stay in one place too long. So it's OSHA may run into us while they're running down the road and they see something they don't like. Typically, OSHA is going to do a site visit where there's been an accident, somebody's been injured on the job, or a complaint has been made about job safety. And also, like I said, if they visually see an unsafe situation while they're driving by, they are authorized to stop. Now, if an inspector does show up, first thing that they're going to do is they're going to pull out their identification. The inspector could be known as a Compliance Safety and Health Officer, CSHO, and they will show you the credentials and explain why they are there. Once they've identified themselves, make sure that you treat them in a professional manner. No joking around. Don't try to treat them badly or anything like that. Now, once they've identified themselves as a member of OSHA, you want to get on your phone right away and call for a manager or somebody from the safety team and find out their estimated time of arrival and relay this to the OSHA representative. Now, the protocol when somebody comes to do an inspection is ask the inspector, the CSHO, to wait until management or safety personnel have arrived. If you are in an office situation, ask them to wait in the reception area. Under no circumstances should you allow the inspector entry into the worksite facility until management personnel has arrived. Try to limit their nosing around the job site, citing safety hazards. Let's take a look at the OSHA Top 10 for the year of 2023. Now, the penalties have increased. They were at 14,502. Now they're up to 15,625 per violation. And the maximum penalty for willful or repeated violations is tenfold easily. So we got to be right the first time. So number one is fall protection, general requirements. One time an OSHA inspector stopped at our work site because he saw the person getting into the bucket truck without his leg straps fastened. And, that just invited him over and he got to look for a lot of other things that were going on. The other part, number two, is hazardous communication. Here we had about 3,200 violations last year that OSHA cited. Now, again, when we are working with chemicals, we do have the SDS on our veritanet.com website. So there's no excuse for not looking things up. Number three is ladders, and that's actually come down, so people are doing a better job on ladders nowadays. But still, 29, almost 3,000 citations were issued in 23. Then we get to scaffolding. Scaffolding is one of the scarier things people have got to work on, and that stuff does get pretty high, so it needs to be inspected carefully. Number 5, we have powered industrial trucks, basically our high-lows. That was at about 2,500. Number 6 is lockout tagout, again, a little over 2,500 incidents. Now, normally we don't do a lot of lockout tagout, but be mindful never to touch, remove, or anyway change any setup that has a lock or a tag on it. Number 7 comes to respiratory protection. So the guys that are jackhammering, guys that are using the concrete saws, be careful. Make sure that we have water at the point of contact to keep that dust flow down. Then we get to fall protection training requirements. So our people that are using anti-fall for climbing poles, buck squeeze, Patriot, whatever it might be, we need to make sure that these people have been trained and it's documented. Another big one, and this is a cause for a loss of fingers and so forth, is machine guarding. If there's a guard on a machine, it must stay in place. And then we have eye and face protection. That one's moved up. This is the first time I've seen that one in the top 10. So once they've identified themselves, you should take a break, put down your tools, make sure you give a call to management, and if known, let management know why they are on site. Let them know when management will be on site. Let them do their job. Don't engage in conversation. If they ask questions, try to keep it to a yes or a no. If they're taking pictures of something, get behind them and try to take a picture of what they're taking pictures of, just so we have a better idea of what they're looking for. Okay. So if you're working in a building, try to restrict admittance to any other parts of the building other than the reception area until management or safety are on site. Try to determine the reason for the inspection and try to limit the scope of the inspection. So if they're being specific about one problem, lead them to that area and, try to avoid giving them the grand tour. Obtain a copy of the complaint. They'll always have a written order of why they are there. Designate an employee representative. Typically, we should have a safety or management person walking with them as they do their inspection. And if push really came to shove and it was something extremely sensitive, you can ask for a search warrant. We shouldn't have to go that far, then they just start playing hardball also. Now, stay with the OSHA compliance officer. Take photographs and videos. Do not volunteer any information. Again, answer in a yes or no manner if at all possible. Repair any small violations immediately. Even if they don't bring it up, fix it up. And make sure that we can provide records. One thing that they are very keen on is being able to see training records for certain operations. Okay. Now, somewhere down the line, there's going to be a closing conference. Now, you want to promote the company's commitment to safety, bring up all the different trainings we have on different things, how people need to be certified for gaffing. They need to be certified for, they get certified by Vermeer for drilling and so forth. Let them know that we are doing our best to keep everybody safe. And include input for establishing abatement dates, meaning when they want everything to be fixed up. They could come by at a later time and check that we have made improvements for what they were looking for. Now, while we're talking about government agencies, let's not forget the DOT. Which one of these people is going to get pulled over? Yeah, it's pretty easy to see that the gray stripe is not going across that bright yellow. And again, uh, make sure all your signage is legible on your truck, all the safety decals. Make sure you're pulling a trailer, that the breakaway line is attached to the truck and not to the chain. Don't forget to buckle up. It's the law.